Hello, welcome to the first debrief of the European World Cup stint. Debriefing. It's so hard to say. The debrief of the first two European World Cups, Prague and Bern Boulder World Cups. I've had a lot of questions as to why I wasn't at Salt Lake City World Cup and Curitiba World Cup. And that's because I did all of the Asian World Cups, 3 of them. So I was out in China and Indonesia for quite a long time. And obviously America is also quite far for me. I thought that maybe doing the American World Cups would be quite difficult with the travel, especially getting to Brazil. It's like long travel days and jet lag and competing and stuff. And I want to find a good balance between doing lots of comps but also performing, like putting myself in a good position to perform well at them. So I decided to skip those 2 and focus on the weaknesses from the Asian World Cups so that I could go into the European leg feeling confident and get some good results. So the main focus after Bali coming back, my main focus was slabs and coordination and all this new school baloney. No, I'm joking. I just tried to focus on that because that's something that I'm not as confident with. I think I just have more confidence on the powery, strengthy boulders than the slabs and the coordination. So I focused on that. What did I actually do? First thing I did, slabs. I wanted to have a whole day just experimenting with what was possible on slabs for me, especially on little nubbins because I'm not all that good at standing on those. So I went to a private wall and had setter come in and basically set me climbs and then tweak them and make them easier or make them harder or make changes to them based on what I was doing. She's really pretty well known in the UK, I'd say, as a slab god. Not just a slab god at setting slabs, but she's actually just really good at climbing the slabs. It's actually a bit insane. I've actually said her name. Yeah, no, I haven't. We're talking about this random slab god that's just unnamed. Her name is Amy Bagnall-Smith, and she's probably the best slab setter that I've ever come across. Yeah, the original climbs felt impossible, almost. So it was really good to slowly build up to being able to almost do them, and even doing individual moves was really good. I think she set 3 or maybe 4, and I don't think I topped any, but I got loads of moves that I thought were impossible before I started working them. So it was it was a really beneficial session. I also was lucky enough to have some climbs set at Rock City. I mentioned that I'm not all that confident in paddle dynos and also slabs, and some really hard competition climbs were set. So I went and gave those a try. My skin wasn't great on that day, so I wasn't able to give it my absolute best shot, but it was still really beneficial. And it's just good to get on those climbs at any point, even if you're not feeling 100%. I think it's really good to get on them. The last thing I did was go to Innsbruck for a few days, and I actually did top an 8C plus that Innsbruck trip, and I was very happy about that. But also, they have a really good slab wall there, so I spent ages on that wall trying to just drill in the climbs and get as many as possible. And they also have some really good jumps, so I just spent ages trying to get my body more in tune with those kinds of moves that we don't find so much in the UK. And I definitely came back feeling a lot more confident. So then a month after Bali, or just under a month after Bali, I was back on the mats in Prague competing. Qualies for me, it went well. I topped all 5. The last qualification boulder in Prague was a slab, and it was just unsteady on the feet. Obviously it's a slab and the handholds were really small, so you had to really drive through the feet, and it felt really good to top that one because it definitely wasn't my forte, but I felt so much more comfortable on it after working slabs for that month, so I was really happy to get that one. And I was going into semi-finals with 5 tops, I think in 2nd place in my group. And it was also just good to get that round over with because it was delayed for a while because of the weather and the rain, so we were sort of worried at one point that we wouldn't get to do the qualies that day, so I was just happy to be out on the mats. Semi-finals. Oh yes, semi-finals. I was just feeling excited again. I knew in my head I wanted to make finals. Boulder number 1 was like the power block of the round. The bottom bit wasn't too bad. First move was cool. It was sort of like a coordination, like not really a dyno, but just like a cool move. And the rest of it was okay, just getting through the power moves. The last move was really, really hard, and I tried to go really dynamically to it the first time, and it was just too much of like a swing for me to hold. So I came down and I had a little bit of a rest, and then I got back up there relatively easily, and then tried a high heel into the last like undercut move, and I was so happy to top that, because just these moves where you're like up into an undercut and you're sort of like extended was one of my main weaknesses last year on power and strength blocks. And even coming into this season, when I was doing comp sims before the season started, that move was still not as strong as I wanted it to be, so I carried on working it. And now to top a semis boulder where the final move of a power boulder is that move, it just felt really good and I was really happy. So I felt that was a really good way to start my round. Then coming out for the second boulder, it was just like a 2-move coordination block. It was sort of weird, like it was weird momentum, and I think it was cool because you could do it lots of different ways. I think you could do it like all the way through to the crimp, to the zone, or you can like stop, and it was just quite a cool boulder. And then the top move was just really long, but I got that. It took me a few goes to figure out the first move, and then I fell off the last move once, but then just threw myself for it and it wasn't so bad. I was happy with that one as well. Semis number 3 was the slab of the round. I'm relatively happy with this climb. I think I could have executed it a lot quicker and faffed around less, and I also had one attempt where I think I just got a bit overexcited. I think when you're that overexcited, it's not helpful with any climb, let alone if it's a slab and you're meant to be like really like tentative with everything. Especially because I was trying to go to like a 4mm like undercut or whatever, like a pebble thing. And I got that and I made my way over and I got the palm, like the red palm, which was the second to last hold, I think. And I just needed to step through, but instead I got a bit too hyper-focused on I got like hyper-fixated on the hands, so I came in to match the palm and go round to the crimp. But you sort of need to step through with your foot because this is really far away. So I tried to take the swing. I landed on my face. I tried to take the swing took me, and I was claimed by the mat. It was like annoying because it felt really close, but I was excited for the last boulder, and I came out and the last boulder looked really cool. I got the zone on my first attempt, and then it's like a pressy boulder. So for me, there felt like there were a lot of ways to do it, and I think I just needed to commit to one. Like I was comfortable in this press position and I could see lots of ways of doing it, but because I was comfortable in this position, I was sort of unwilling to just pick an option and go with it, so I faffed a lot. On the last go, I did commit to a way and I made it through, and I looked at the clock, it said 6 seconds, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go for the last move, and I went for it and my foot popped and I was just a bit devastated because it felt like I'd finally like committed to it and got there, and it could have been like a buzzer beater finish, but then yeah, I think I just hesitated a bit too long and then my foot was gone. But I was into finals in 4th place, so all was fine, and I would give it my all in finals that evening. So that's what I did, except it's not, because finals was cancelled. I went into ISO for finals with my teammate Emma. She actually made her first finals, so that was really exciting as well. I've never been in a finals with like another woman, Brit woman. How do you say that? GB woman. I've never been in finals with another GB woman, but I beat her
Jesus Christ.
Like I've been like Wu Zhang last year. I was in ISO with like Toby and Max, but I've never been in ISO with a GB woman before, so I've never been in finals ISO with a GB woman before, so it was just exciting, and it would have been cool to compete in finals together, but it was postponed at first, and then it was cancelled because of the weather. It is an outdoor venue, so there is always a risk of that. So coming out of ISO, having not competed, sucked a lot, especially when you like fire yourself up for it and you're ready for it, and then it's just sort of taken away from you. And especially because I'd done semis and fallen off like 2 last moves, and I felt in really good shape, and that I just wasn't able to show it in the semis round. So then to get the chance to show it again, or try and show it again, just taken away really just felt really annoying and disappointing. A bit of a downer, but it was still a really fun competition and I felt strong, so I knew that I could go into Bern in less than a week and I was in good form. So then I just headed back to the hotel instead of competing in final. Didn't even walk back to the hotel, we were just blown by the wind. Blown into the hotel doors. So after Prague, I headed to Bern. I was just really excited. I'd competed in Bern 2 years before at the World Championships, and that was like such a massive event. So I was excited to be back. It was like in the same place basically. And the venue is insane. Qualification was it was an interesting round. I think my execution wasn't the best. I took like 1 or 2 goes on boulders that I felt were quite steady, just because some of the moves were quite low percentage. And then there was one hard boulder that was a coordination boulder, like a coordination sort of power boulder with the first move. And that was quite hard. I took a few attempts on that but got it done, thankfully. So I was going into semi-finals with 5 tops again. But because of the fact there was quite a high scoring round, I was going in 9th or something. This semi-finals round was everything that a semi-finals round should be in a World Cup. I think it was absolutely incredible. The first boulder was a really hard coordination move that I struggled with, and that I think I'll learn a lot from in terms of movement and momentum and stuff. The second semis boulder was amazing, incredible, wonderful boulder. I think it was maybe my favourite boulder of the round. It was a power boulder and it was like I think it was just perfect. It had like 2-finger pocket move and then like a campus into a pocket, like 360 as well, and then a campus round, or practically a campus round, into like a really rubbish slopery disc thing. And then the top, I didn't get to do the top 2 moves. They looked really hard from other people who got up there, like 2 other people, that's how hard it was. And also the way that the setters had set the boulder, they'd used a lot, like loads and loads of dual techs and then put the pockets on so that you could use your feet but you couldn't really get much out of them. So it was like practically a forced campus. You could use your feet and not take that much weight of your hands. So I just think it was set so well, and it really you couldn't really tech your way through it. It was just a pure power strengthy boulder, and I think it was incredible. I learned a lot from that one, and it also, because it's so brutal, it really knocks you down. So even looking back at it, knowing how cool a boulder was, and when I was climbing it felt like a really cool boulder, it still sort of knocks you because it's just so hard and every move is so brutal. So I think it's also really good to test the athlete's mindset and whether they can bounce back from it. Thankfully for me, I was able to recover myself in between the second and third boulder. It was a flat hold boulder with quite a lot of no-techs. There was a no-techs hold in it, which I'm not overly good at, so I had to lock in for that for like that one no-techs hold. Oh no, there were 2 no-techs holds actually, there was one at the top. It was quite a strengthy tension boulder, but it felt okay and I flashed that one. I was really happy to get some scores on the boards, but most importantly I was happy to flash it because I think I could tell that it was a really hard round, so I knew that getting a top but flashing it, I knew that that would matter, so I was happy to do that. And then the slab was also really, really hard. There was a cool cross-through move which I got to get to the zone, and then it was a foot swap on a tiny little jib, and then the top move was also, people were struggling on it. That was a really cool boulder, and I also learned a lot from that one. Just like a really, really hard round, but it's so cool to be part of a semis round that was so brutal. I remember when I was younger, I'd watch the World Cups. I'd just rewatch and rewatch and rewatch all the rounds, and the semis rounds always, or most of the time, they looked really, really brutal. And I feel like I've never been in a semi-final round that's been this brutal. So it was just really cool. And I'm really fond of that kind of setting in semi-final rounds. Because of my flashes to zones and to tops, I was going into finals in second place and just really excited for another round. The venue and the crowd was absolutely incredible in the semi-finals, so I was just excited to do another round. Finals, the first climb, I knew was getting a lot of tops. I was a little bit nervous about the no-tex feet, but I thought I'm just going to really commit to them and stand on them. Hopefully they don't slip. So that's what I did, and I was able to get a flash, which I was really thankful for because I knew that lots of people were topping them and I wanted to make sure that I was executing well. The second boulder, the slab, difficult standing on the massive circular hold because you have to sort of do it dynamically and you're going around a corner and you need to find the balance point, and it just took me quite a few attempts to find that balance point. But then the next move into the palm and then the move to the top felt okay, so I was really happy to secure that top. I think I was a bit relieved because it sort of keeps you in the game. 2 out of 2 at that point, halfway through the final. The third block was one that I was most excited for. After observation, I thought that it was such a cool boulder. It's sort of like UK style a little bit, just straight up strength and crimps and wide moves. Not really too much complexity to it, it's just pulling hard. So I was really excited and I felt quite confident going out to that one. I think because I was so like set on topping it, I just pulled really hard and it actually didn't feel too bad. I was just, yeah, like I think you can see my face when I flash it, and I'm just so happy that I was able to execute it well. So that felt really good. And after I topped that, I knew that unless I completely messed up the final boulder, I knew that I was probably in for a medal, which was so exciting. And I was going into the final boulder trying to be really confident. The finals boulder was like 2 moves basically, and it was just a easier paddle and then this crazy like 1, 2, 3, 4 move like coordination dyno. And obviously I'm trying to be as confident as I can be with those moves, and I was trying to remind myself that I've been working on them for a while, for like the month in between, and just try and get excited for it. And if I'm not feeling confident, then I'll trick myself into being confident, and hopefully then it would just naturally bring the confidence in. When I walked out to the finals boulder, I saw lots of people up at the front, like in front of the crowd in the coaches area where they film and stuff and make appeals. Mainly I saw Liam, one of the GB coaches, and Toby, one of my teammates obviously. I don't know if you know him, Toby Roberts, Olympic champion. Who? I'd rather finish 5th at the Olympics, but winning the Olympics is so cringe. Who wants that?
It's only a dream for like most athletes.
It's only a dream.
Not a dream for him.
Give me your gold Olympic medal, please.
I get gold Olympic medal, you get 5th place at the Olympics.
Yeah. I'll give you my bronze medal. I'm not even going to give you my gold. Yeah, right. Liam and Toby were at the front, like gripped onto the rails almost, just like screaming. As when you come out for a finals body, you turn around to the crowd until they start the clock, and then you turn around and you can start climbing, just so that both climbers start climbing at the same time. So before I'd even like touched the wall, they were like screaming for me. And at that point I was like, oh, I think this is for more than a medal. I think this is for the gold medal, because otherwise I do not think they'd be absolutely yelling like that. It was so intense. Behind the wall, you can't be 100% sure who's topped what, but especially at Bern, because the crowd was so loud and because of the light shows and stuff, you could never really tell who was topping things. It was really, really hard to tell, especially when it gets to the end of the round when people don't come back into ISO, they go over to the athlete section. The athletes just weren't coming back. They were falling through the floor and they just were not returning. Straight to the hospital. So I turned around to get on the final boulder. First move, you go bang, bang into the yellow, and the yellow's completely blind. So I missed it and landed on my back, straight to the morgue for me. I really hurt my neck. But got back up and got that move. Just overshot it a bit this time and it was better. Came into the zone, I'd secured the zone, I was like, okay. And I knew, looking at the boulder, I knew that you could probably stop. You could probably stop here after the palm, and you could probably stop here, but I was just gonna throw myself at it and try and execute it as best I could, focus on my hips, focus on my movement. And so I set myself up for it, I went for it, and I actually caught it, and it felt really, really smooth. And I was at the top of the wall on the finals boulder. I got 4 tops out of 4 in a finals round, and I matched it and just like was so just shocked and happy. And the crowd went absolutely insane, and I could hear like my teammates and my coaches just screaming for me. So I come down and I walk over to the athletes, and I see all of them like up off their chairs, smiling, just looking really happy, and it was the best feeling ever. Just going over and seeing all my competitors and getting like congratulated by them, and then seeing the scoreboard and seeing my name like first. And for a second I thought I could be pushed down to second, and I didn't necessarily know that I'd won. But then my coach was like, obviously. Like that's what she literally did. She was like, obviously. And there's this, I just could not believe it. I think behind the wall, I got to a point in the round after flashing the first one and being on track, because I was so focused on flashing the first one. I really wanted to flash that so that I would like put myself in the running, even though that's not really how it is, but it just sort of helps you get on track. After that, I was sort of like, okay, I'm gonna top all of them. I'm gonna win, this is what's gonna happen. And I was so like focused on it, and I did believe that it was possible, but then when it actually happened, it just felt so unbelievable still. And then I just can't believe it. I cannot believe that I've got a gold in both Boulder and lead. It just feels insane, and I think it's gonna feel insane for a very long time. What this? Why is this here?
That's your Wu Zhan one.
Oh yeah, you haven't seen this one.
Shane's giving it you for the weekend.
Yeah, I've got custody for the weekend. A weekend visit from the kid. Yeah, I'll bring it back to her for inspiration. This is my Bern medal. Boulder. You probably can't see that. Bern. It's crazy that 2 years ago I was competing at the I know it's World Championships, but I competed in combined at those World Championships. And I came... In Boulder I did really well. Like I was quite happy with my performance. I came 27th. And in lead, I don't think I could have done much better. I came 55th in lead. And now I'm like, if you told me at that World Championships that 2 years later at that World Cup I would be winning, that is ridiculous. That's crazy. And I got a clock. I had to take it home, and it made it all the way home without like any distractions.
Distraction?
And that doesn't make sense. It made it home without any problems. And then I moved my bag, and the clock was on the bag, and I just didn't really know, and it crashed to the floor, and now it's experiencing problems. But it's okay. I'm gonna fix it. Oh. I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna get my dad to help me. Happy Father's Day, put my clock back together. It'll be fine. Oh, it's really not good. It's really not happy.
It's not very well. It's a bit like the men on Boulder too.
Stop. It was such a cool move.
It was really cool.
It looked so nice when they did it. It just looked so awful when they didn't.
And then Yufei Pan.
Yufei Pan. What a legend. I was so happy. I could have cried when I was watching it. When he realised that he won, I was like tearing up.
I was full on celebrating in the climbing gym.
Fair enough. Well, I don't think I've ever seen someone so shocked to have won. And that's so me.
No.
I feel like...
I think Alex Kazanov was quite shocked when he won.
Oh yeah, I guess. I didn't watch that though. I don't remember watching that. I've never like actually seen someone so shocked. So I was like, oh my god, same. And then I was just basically crying in the audience. That's so good. I was so happy for him.
What happened in the ceremony?
After full on like kneeling down on the podium to receive my medal. Oh no, it was before that. It was in the flower ceremony. We were given, what are they even called? Confetti cannons. That's what they're called, aren't they? You have to twist it and it like explodes. We were given direction, and we were given which way we needed to twist it. I read the directions of use, just so that I was sure what I was doing. It was this way. You pull it this way, it explodes. So we went out, and mine didn't explode. So I twisted it harder and still it didn't explode. My first port of call was to go over to Miho, the adult of the group, to try and get me to do it properly. And her words of advice was to twist it this way. I was like, that's what I've been doing, it's not working. Then Annie struts over.
Hi, how are you?
Tries to help. Long story short, I actually dropped it off, like, with the coaches, and the American coaches got their hands on it. One of them was holding it 2 hands on this side, one of them was holding it 2 hands on this side. They twisted and it did not do anything. This is my official statement of I was not weak. It just was malfunctioning, and I think it's still not worked. No one could get it to work, so take from that what you will. My first Boulder gold medal will always be tainted by the fact that I couldn't get my confetti cannon to erupt.
And the fact that you were just, at the end, you just held it over your head.
What was I meant to do? Throw it into the audience. I did, when I was walking off, start throwing it around, then I was like, oh. I forgot that I'm literally... And Mio was in front of me. Imagine that. I didn't think it would hurt anyone. Probably just give her the shock of her life.
I was worried.
Bang!
I was worried when you went over to like be like, it's not working, that you just go bang.
I was pointing it away from her. All 3 minds, the greatest 3 minds in that entire arena, could not get it to work. Plus the American coaches. Yeah, 4 hands on that thing, trying to twist it to get it to work, and still nothing. Next, like I said, I want to do all of the European World Cups. I've got 1 more Boulder World Cup and then it's all lead World Cups, which is pretty exciting. I hope that I can keep up my form.
Especially with Yanni coming back.
Yeah, it will be exciting. I think she'll be very much on form. I think this is like her only comp, so I think she's going to be an absolute, I mean she's normally an absolute god, but she's gone from god to like the supreme lord ruler of everyone. She's just like floating above everyone like an apparition. I'm excited for that, and obviously World Championships at the end of the year, but the good thing about this year is that there's sort of a break between the last World Cup for me. I'm excited for the next couple months. I think it'll be really exciting. Thank you. Kitchen sink.
Kitchen sink!
Washing machine. Thank you for all your support. A lot of you who I met in Bern said that you really enjoy the YouTube, and that just makes me really happy. So I'm gonna carry on doing it as long as I'm enjoying it and other people are enjoying it. Thank you for everyone who has, I don't know why I'm stuttering so much. I need coffee so bad. Thank you to everyone who has congratulated me. It feels so surreal and it's such a massive dream ticked off. It is a miracle I didn't start sobbing after it happened. I was very close. I don't know what the next video will be. Might be a training video or another debrief video. I will see you in the next video, whatever that may be. And I hope that all your climbing sessions are going great. I'll see you in the next video. Bye! Right, let's go get coffee.